Very interesting time. So yesterday the big issue was the energy minister speaking to some journalists in Kumasi. I think MPP went to launch their campaign in the Ashanti region, and I don't know if you have the audio, but he basically sort of rubbished calls for a dumsor timetable. And I'm not really sure if he was aware that the PURC had actually asked the ECG to produce one, because the journalist asked him whether he thought that calls for a timetable to give people some certainty about their lights out was necessary, and he dismissed the call and basically said, why do you want to ask for a schedule when there's no dumsor? And then he also went on to compare what is happening under this term with what happened at the NDC. And I really was disappointed listening to that, because I felt, okay, fine. If this is a political discussion you're having, it's like a political debate about who's best or who's not good enough, you can have that. But the reality of the frequency of the light outs and the uncoordinated nature of it, right? And then the disparity between what the ECG tells us and what even people in the space like the IPPs are saying. All right, ECG keeps talking about transformers, right? And then there's a whole discussion around generation and the money to buy fuel. I felt a bit disappointed for him to just dismiss, because I thought it was a good opportunity for him to explain what the plan was for the sector and what they wanted to do with it and how they were going to fix it. Maybe the setting was not right, I don't know, but I felt it was quite dismissive. Maybe you should listen to it to form your own conclusion. Yeah. But I feel like the reason they want to give us a shell is political reason. They don't want people to say that, just like the criticized NDC in 2014, because the power situation was bad and we had a dumsor timetable. If the government concedes that there's a power problem, and that concession is manifested by releasing a certain timetable, so they'll go heaven and earth not to release a timetable. Even though there are people who I know, and you can ask, every time you ask people, there are people whose light go off religiously at specific times. Do you get it? So even if it's going off for 2 weeks, we deserve to know.
Yes.
So why we don't need a timetable, I do not get. Because even if you are using a transformer excuse, you should know, as the PRC said, where your transformers are and why these transformers are loaded. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So, and for me, for business planning purposes, it's very damaging. The amount of money we spend on power is very high. So I really think the minister should come again and probably grant a press briefing or something. Bring VRA, bring Greco, bring ECG, and let's have a proper Q&A session.